Hi folks, Puffin here. And this is part 2 of my Cruella review. Watch for flashing lights on this one. I started the first one and did 2 of the 3 L's. Looks, and looks are the third L. The first 2 looks are the looks they give each other in the movie. So Emma Stone and Emma Thompson have most amazing magical looks that they give people in the movie, and you get lost in Emma Stone's eyes, and she uses her eyes to tell you where to go. Like, it's very good acting in the way their eyes work. It makes me even suspect, did they make this movie in order to cast Emma Stone in it in order for to be Cruella de Vil? She's that good in it. The looks she gives are that good. And I talk some about the look of the whole movie. Is it a good look to make a movie about somebody, a character who you know is famous for going on to harm animals? And that's why I have the Michael Vick shirt, because Michael Vick is famous for dogfighting and hurting dogs. But he's maybe not as famous, but should be more famous for going on to tell people not to do dogfighting and helping influence the culture, and probably does more than anybody else to help dogs. This is related to Cruella de Vil because as an evil cartoon character, she lets people know it's bad to hurt dogs. Don't hurt dogs. Don't be like Cruella de Vil. Don't be evil. Now, why would you as an actor take a job to play such a character that's only famous really for being harmful to dogs? Well, if you can make that character lovable, make people relate to and sympathize with that character, you do something that doesn't make people want to hurt dogs. It doesn't do that at all. It doesn't make people sympathetic to her wanting to hurt dogs. And I'm not going to spoil the movie, so don't worry about that. I'm going to talk about the issues, not the content as much. But what it does is it makes a human character of a villain. And by humanizing a villainous character, we can learn things about human nature. We can learn a lot. We can learn how to help people who are in a villainous role. Now, that's talking about the Dalmatian in the room, hurting dogs being a central character component of Cruella de Vil's character. But the elephant in the room is another reason I was hesitant to watch this movie. But I did want to watch it. I kind of wanted to watch it being as critical as I could, and didn't find much to criticize in it. I was really pleased with the movie. I think it's a genius movie because the more I think about it, the more I want to say about it. And it's got this redeeming a villain theme to it that did put me off. And then, redeeming someone who hurts dogs. I'm like, no, I don't want to watch that. Why would you even do that? But then I did want to watch it because I was curious. And then I loved it really from the beginning because they did a good job of creating this character and making her sympathetic after all. And like I said, it doesn't ever encourage harm to dogs. But the main thing is that by redeeming a bad character, it makes you concerned. Because I know they've done Maleficent and some other movies where they're taking a villain and they're telling a backstory or doing something that kind of redeems that character. And in some ways it reminds me of Wicked, which I don't like. I don't approve of Wicked. Read the actual Oz books. Don't read Wicked. Don't participate in that. But redeeming a bad character can be especially bad in today's era because you have Trump, who's kind of a modern day Hitler, and the idea of redeeming a bad character in this context, like trying to redeem Hitler, is bad. It's very dangerous. So I was suspicious and wary going into this movie, and I was very pleased that it turned out to be an awesome movie. And again, maybe I'm a target audience for this movie as an outcast, as an artist, as a genius. But you can watch it even if you're not a genius, or be a genius when you're watching it, or discover through watching it that you are a genius. Discover a type of genius you didn't know you had. And that gets to the third look. I feel like I've talked about the look of the movie, making a movie that redeems a villain, and, the concerns about dogs. And talk about the looks they give each other in the movie. But the third look is the look of the movie, the art, the costume design, the whole thing put together, the script as well. Because in this movie, the costume design, again, I don't want to spoil anything, but the costume design is more than just costumes. And not that that's Not to say anything against costumes, because costumes are often, one of the most integral parts of the movie. But in this movie, the costumes, the fashions take on many different roles. They take on, as you could imagine, an inspirational role to Cruella as a fashionista. Um, but they take on roles in the plot. You'll see it. You'll know what I'm talking about after you see it. Or if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about now, so I don't need to elaborate. But my point is that this weaves the costuming into the movie in an art type of way. It shows something about art and inspiration that you look for and see in this movie. It comes out again in the performance, in the looks they're giving, and in the look of these costumes, of these archetypes that they invoke with the costumes, and also things they do. So it's really a powerful movie in lots of magical ways. As a fairy witch myself, that's kind of my approach to this, that the looks, the beauty of it, you could say, something this beautiful is always genius. And there's a genius in the beauty of these looks. It's not just that Emma Stone is a beautiful person, it's that she has this beautiful power, and Emma Thompson as well, have this beautiful power in the beauty of these looks that they're able to present for the camera. The camera is talented to catch them that way. This is what I was comparing it to the Kung Fu movies. And all actors have that ability to convey emotion and expressions with their eyes, but there's this like beyond level that you only see some actors do it, and you see it a lot in Emma Stone, and I've seen it like Kristen Stewart does it. Like when I watched the Twilight movies, I was like, well, she seems doped up, and maybe she was, or maybe she was just playing doped up teenager, but I've seen just maybe clips of her in other movies, and well, she does these things with her eyes that you're like, okay, yeah, she has this magic power. So it's giving credit to that. But then to take a step back again to, do you want to redeem evil characters? So that's all I can say about the looks. The look of the entire movie is that it's art. That it weaves art, the art of fashion and the art of genius, the art of inspiration, weaves it in and out in different ways. So it's very exciting to detect the genius and inspiration within the movie. But the last thing about redeeming an evil character in the Trump era is that really all you can do is redeem an evil character. This reminds me of the Star Wars Sith conception, where there's always two, a master and apprentice. Well, of course, there's a bunch of other evil people working in the network, but the master and apprentice, the reason there's always two is because there always has to be one to betray the other, because evil has to be transferred. Good is generative. Good is organic and grows and spreads, generates through art and love and all types of good things. It's abundant. It generates more. Evil is restrictive in this traumatic thing that has to be transferred. That's what the Sith is all about, transferred and then betrayed. So in this case, Trump, Putin, DeSantis, they're all transferring evil to each other, and one of them will betray the other one, overthrow the other one, so on. That's how I feel like this movie, seeing it for me now, is a magical connection today. Maybe I'll make one more